Hey guys, what's up? It's Michaela again, back with another speed build for you. Today I am building a starter home in Mirage Park. I am building this on one of the lots where there was previously a house already built. It's the one that does not belong to Vanessa. I forgot what the lot was called originally. But I'm building this specifically for the Let's Play that I'm doing right now. If you have not seen that already, that is about a brother and a sister. They have just moved to Delso Valley. It was mostly the brother's idea. His name is Ethan. He really wants to become famous. They both didn't have the best childhood growing up, and their parents weren't really there for them. So he really wants to kind of show off and be like, well, look what I can do now. So it was his idea, and then he brought his sister Lydia with him because he also wanted to get her out of that situation. He's kind of overprotective over her, but that's okay. So his big goal in life is he wants to be a world famous celebrity, and he doesn't really care how he gets there. He will do just about anything to get there. So he's starting out with the actor career, and we'll see how that ends up. Well, on the other hand, Lydia, she doesn't really care about the fame. She's the type of person that just wants to be a little bit laid back and just kind of chill her own way. So she is working on being a sim tuber. And she doesn't really want to become famous out of it, but it's just something that's a little bit fun. And she thinks so, it's at least something to bring in some money and to be able to just be like her introverted self and just stay at home. So right now I'm just trying to figure out where I want the kitchen to be. I had a really hard time with the floor plan of this house. I looked at so many Google images. So I got inspiration from the outside of the house from one Google image that I really liked when I looked up just like Los Angeles starter home. Since Delso Valley is supposed to mimic Los Angeles, I wanted to really have the realism of a starter home that would be in Los Angeles. So I was trying to copy the roofing here, and I did think it's a little bit out of order in this video, or in this build, because I didn't know how the floor plan in that house looked. So I looked at some other examples, and that's where I got the idea of having the bedrooms and bathroom kind of separated and on one side of the house. Then on the other side of the house, it had like the living room, dining area, and also the kitchen. And I like that because that way it gives their bedrooms a little bit more privacy. Although it also doesn't really give them privacy because whenever Sims come over, they always end up going into Lydia's room because I put a bookcase in there and they just kind of steal books. So, I should just lock her door just for her only. So then I end up moving the kitchen where that back door was. I did really want a back door, but sometimes when you have your first house, then you don't get what you want. And I wanted to mimic the illusion of having a home that doesn't look the best inside. So even though the cost of this itself isn't too expensive, I think it's under 40,000 simoleons. But I really want to have the realism factor. Because whenever you go to a big city and you find a house or apartment that's in your budget, it really doesn't look too great. So I was trying to go for that factor. So I used the counters that we got from City Living. It was like the budget counters or whatever. And so they're a little bit crappier, which I end up changing the color of them because after I fully built this and I was looking at everything in there before I was going to take pictures, I was like, yeah, I can't do those counters. So I go with like a darker gray or something. And then I also had a hard time with the living room too because it was just barely too small that I couldn't use a longer couch, which is what I wanted. And so I was trying to just go around and use the love seats. But then it just seemed really small because if you're living with someone else, you don't want to be sitting like directly next to them. I mean, unless you're in a relationship, but these are brother and sister, so they are definitely not in a relationship. So I ended up just making the house a little bit bigger. And then, so I put that plant on that side, and I put the corner table that we got from Get Famous on the other side. But I ended up moving that for my Let's Play. So the house has like minor changes in my Let's Play. But this house that is going to be up on the gallery is just how you see it right here, except for the counter color change. And then I ended up putting some windows in. I was actually really proud of all the window placement in this video, because I feel like I have a tendency to just like overplace windows everywhere. Like I want every single wall to have windows. So I was trying to avoid doing that. And then, so in this room over here is going to be Lydia's room. She eventually has a little bit bigger of a room than her brother, which originally I wanted it to be the opposite because I wanted it to be like his house so he gets the master bedroom. But since she has her video set up, it wasn't really going to work out. So she ends up getting the bigger room, which is fine. And then I wasn't able to fit a double bed in her room, so she just has a single bed, which also is fine. And then I put the nightstand. I think we get it in base game, but it has like some scratches and whatnot in it. And also this the video editing machine. I totally did not know that you needed a chair to be able to edit videos and stuff. So the first time I played with it, I had my sim, go make the video. It was all good. And then I was trying to get her to edit the video and she would not do it. So I was like, okay, I'll just have you go publish it. And then she also could not publish the video. So, moral of that story, I learned that you need to put a chair on it. So that just shows how much I have really paid attention in the other Let's Play videos that I have seen. And so I put this dresser and I put like the makeup and like hair stuff on it because I imagined that the bathroom would have been too small, and also just having one bathroom, that would have been really hard for Lydia to kind of get ready. And so that way she could have that area in her room also. And then in the shelves, I placed the scout trophies that you get from seasons on there because I imagined that as a teenager and also as a child that maybe Lydia was a scout and she kept all of her trophies. Like maybe she's really proud of it. And then I was trying to decorate it a little bit, and especially where the camera would angle, so that way when she does make her videos that she has a nice background. And then I have the bathroom in the middle. It's nothing like really fancy at all, just a standard bathroom. That's kind of how all my bathrooms are. I didn't really like how the window was like directly next to the opposite wall, but it's fine. One day we'll be able to just place windows in the middle of the wall and it'll be great. I also wish that we could have either had more lots in Del Sol Valley and Mirage Park or smaller lots, because I was having a lot of trouble with like the background and the exterior of the house itself because it's just so big, and that really isn't realistic because if you're buying your first house in an expensive city, a really big city, then you're probably going to have a really small house. So I think when I eventually want to redo the other two lots, so I was thinking about maybe doing a duplex in one, because duplexes are fun to build, and also maybe building like 2 or 3 houses on another lot. I don't know, I haven't looked at the other lots too closely, so we'll see where that takes me. So right now I'm working on Ethan's room. I put the 2 movie posters up there because if he wants to start out being an actor, then he probably would want to have some sort of inspiration up there. So I put the posters up there, and then other than that, he didn't really have much of anything else, just a dresser. I put a mirror in there so that way he could practice his acting skills really well. And then on this wall over here, I ended up putting I don't know how much it is, but it kind of looks more like an expensive painting. So I imagine that overall, Lydia would have been the one to want to decorate the house because I feel like she'd be really good at that. Like she's really creative, so she kind of knows where things might look the best. Versus when Ethan wants to try to do something, he doesn't really know what he's doing. And so now I work on more of the exterior of the house. In my inspiration photo that I saw of this, they had like a brick they had the brick staircase that goes into like the front porch area, and it was pretty small to the ground. It was like 1 step, but it looked really weird in the Sims app. It would be only 1 step, so I ended up changing that. And then I ended up putting a little bit of landscaping in there. And I also wanted to put a chimney up here. And it isn't, there's no fireplace in there since that's in Lydia's room. So probably in the house where this is my inspiration is from, that's probably where the living room is. But that just didn't work out for this house, but it's fine. And I just put some landscaping over here, and I do the whole like rock, the rocks that kind of are the outline of it too, which I really liked. And I imagine that this would have been just a little bit overgrown. Both Lydia and Ethan aren't really much of like flower or plant people, so they don't really do anything. It's just everything's overgrown and it's fine. And then I wanted to put a pathway, and I had a little bit of difficulty doing this because in the original picture, it was like a curvy thing. So I was trying to go with that, but then on that one side where I'm working on right now, it's just really sharp right there. I didn't really know how to work on it. So I ended up trying to do a Google search or YouTube search on how to do it, but then I kind of ended up figuring it out on my own, and it was good. And then I ended up making that brick too, so that way it would match up with the porch itself. Another thing about this house is the backyard is so big, which I really didn't like, because that's also really not realistic. Because I've seen in a lot of houses when I've done house searches for myself, the backyard is usually pretty small, but this one is huge. Like, look at that. You'd have so many room for activities over there. And so I want to put a little patio area in the back. It's uncovered, which is fine. And I was also having a really hard time with doing the terrain paint tools, because you know how it usually has like the white either circle or square lines with it. That was not working right then. So I kind of had to work without it, but it still ended up being good. And then I just put a few trees. Now that I'm looking back on it, I kind of want to put more trees and also add more terrain to it. So maybe I'll do that in a future Let's Play episode. I also ended up putting the outside trash out there, but I totally forgot to put a bin on the inside, which I still haven't fixed it, but it's fine. And then I put a few more trees around. I thought that having the rocks around the tree was gonna look cooler, but then it ended up just looking really weird, so I just kind of put the one on the side. Like, I don't know how it got there, but for some reason it ended up there. And I'm just doing a little bit of last minute touches, making sure everything looks good. And it looks like that just about concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for my next few videos. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.